Hi, I'm Valerie Stevens, and I'd like to welcome you to another on-demand training for the Office of Hi, I'm Valerie Stevens, and I'd like to welcome you to another on-demand training from the Office of Online and Distance Learning at Carson-Newman University. In this video, we're going to look at how to create a discussion and the different settings. Let's begin. I like to always start my discussion posts, my assignments, my quizzes, everything that I build directly from the modules. Now we'll take a look at what discussions look like in a minute, but let's just go ahead and build one. Here in week 2, chapter 3, we're talking about employment equal opportunity. So I'm going to add a discussion post, and I'm going to select discussion and new topic, and let's call this equal opportunity. Now I'll go ahead and add the item. I don't want to post it just yet, so I'm going to leave it unpublished, and I'll just select the title to go ahead and open it. I see that there is no discussion question there yet, or initial topic, so let's go ahead and put one in. And I like to surprise my students. I'm sure that they thought for sure I was going to talk about race, religion, some other topic that comes first to mind when you think of equal opportunity. But I found this one in the textbook and I loved it. Is it fair to discriminate against the unemployed? Why or why not? Now I could continue giving them a lot of instructions, but let's look and see what we've got going on from here. So as we scroll down through, we see the first thing that we come to is who are we posting this discussion to. All sections would be all the different sections you might have combined in this course. The other choice that we might have here is just a specific section if you only had a specific section. I'm going to include it to all sections because at Carson-Newman that's usually what you're going to find. I can choose a file if there's some maybe reading or another topic that would help them with this, but I'll leave that alone. I have no attachment right now. This is the important area, and that's the options. We must allow threaded replies for students to be able to comment not only on each other's posts, but they need that to be able to comment on this post. And I like for my students to post their initial thoughts before they actually see their fellow course mates. Now, the next selection, enable podcast feed, and then of course include student replies in the podcast feed. I can't talk about that. I have looked in all the Canvas guides. I've looked at so many different YouTube videos, and I've even been to Canvas Commons, and I can't find a good explanation of how to use the podcast feed. So I'm going to skip that one. And I'm going to assume that there isn't too many people out there that use it if I could find nothing on it. Now I am going to allow this particular discussion to be graded. However, let's look at the one way at the bottom, and that is add to student to-do list. If I'm not going to grade it, but I want it in the student's to-do list, then I just have to select this, and now I can add a date. But since I am going to grade it, I'm going to go back up and select grade, and you'll notice that now the to-do list option is gone. Allow liking. I tend to not go with that. That's sort of a social media type feature, and I really want some robust discussion. I don't want just like and not like. Okay, so I'm going to not check that. Now if this is a group discussion, I can select group discussion, and I can also select which category of groups do I want this to go to. Now, if you understand grouping, you'll understand that you have category groups, and maybe this is the only group sections that I've got. But this particular discussion then would be posted to each of those groups. Okay, I'm not going to make this a group discussion, but I do want to let them know how many points this one's going to be worth, and I'll just have it be 100 points. And I want to display that as a percentage. The different display grade as here is discussed in another video. Okay, assignment group. That would be your category. This is definitely a discussion. If I'm weighting my grades, I want to make sure that I have the assignment group correct there. If I'm requiring peer reviews of the different discussion posts and also the subsequent posts to the initial ones, I would select peer reviews, but I'm not going to have that either. Now I want to assign this to everyone, and I want to make sure that I have the all-important due date put in, right? So we've now got it all set. It's assigned to everyone, and there's a due date for everyone. Now you will want to be clear to your students. Is this the due date for the whole discussion to close, or is this the due date for their initial post? Okay, because there may be some confusion about that. Now I always put my due date as the initial post date, which would be Tuesday or a Wednesday evening, and then the final response posts are always due by Sunday night in my classes. Okay, but that first post is the one that's most important. And if they post then in that one, it's not going to show late. I may mark them off if they don't have subsequent posts, but at least they're not late. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead now and save and publish that post. Now, here is the difference between discussions and assignments is where you're going to add a rubric to it. In assignments, we know that we add rubrics down in here. In discussion posts, I'm going to come up to the right-hand corner, and I'm going to select Add Rubric here. And I really am disappointed by this because it doesn't show up for the students either unless you point it out to them. And instead of creating a rubric, because this isn't a rubrics video, I'm going to go ahead and find a rubric that has been used before. And there's my 100-point discussion rubric. And I'm going to use that one. Okay, so now we have the assignment rubric details. We want to give it a second until we kind of see a flash on the screen and we know that now it's been attached. Okay, so that's discussions, how to post them, how to make their settings, and how to add a rubric. I hope you've enjoyed this on-demand video. Thank you.